My name is Simba Tayari. I was born in southern Illinois, Centralia, Illinois. And really what I was going to speak on was migration of my parents, or my father's side, at least from Mississippi. And I thought that sort of the outstanding thing, my father often repeated this story. He died at 100 years old, just almost 101 in 2007. But he was a historian of the family, and he used to always tell us a story about how they left Mississippi. And one of the reasons they had to leave, his father had requested the people that they were using their land, the white owners, that he wanted to get floors paved in his house. And the man basically told him, he said, you're a good nigga, but if I do that for you, I probably have to do it for, all these niggas gonna want paved floors, so finished floors. So anyway, whatever circumstance they ended up with them leaving, he used to tell the story very vividly, and he's written about it. They were leaving Terry, Mississippi, and a train pulled in. They had segregated coaches then, Jim Crow. And the train pulled up, and the train was real long, the trains were long at that time. And they were the only people there, but it was 17 of them. In fact, they had rented they had used a whole, his grandfather had rented a separate boxcar to bring their things before them. But when they got to the train station, the train pulled up for them to board, and it was at the white section. And there were so many of them, the black section was so far down, so the conductor was telling them to go down there, and the engineer, by this time, he's sitting in the station for a while. He keep, boo, 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 he wants to move, he wants to go. It was taking so long. So eventually what happened was they had to get in this white section, and then they traveled all the way through, he said 5 or 6 cars, they had to go back to the black section. Of course, when they got to Cairo, from Criminal Bridge from Mississippi on the IC, then they, of course, got in the integrated section. But one of the things that one of the speakers today was speaking of was how people came with different things. And the fact of the matter, they came, and when the grandfather came, he had 2 sets of horses and wagons that he had sent, and also other type of tools and things that they actually brought with them because they had been successful, relatively, speaking, in Jackson area, Terry, Mississippi area existence, but they couldn't stand these segregated laws and what was going on, and threats to their lives. But the fact of the matter, they didn't leave poor as everybody did, And I thought that was interesting, that they came with so many things. And then the story my dad always told how, but he was so clear in his mind about always how this engineer, and it was just a dilemma. And here's these 17 passengers, what they gonna do with them? Are they gonna leave them there? And so they finally had to tell them to get in. So anyway, that's one of the things. I have some information I'm going to turn over to Sherry and Bronzeville Chicago Historical Society, because my father wrote quite a bit about its experiences, and not only coming there and making adjustments and how that worked out. So that's basically what I wanted to describe myself.
Did you guys still have roots in the South? Like, ever visit?
Man, you know what? When during the civil rights struggle, my parents wouldn't let us. We was pretty hot-headed, and they wouldn't let us go down there. So during that period, I didn't really go, and I moved to Africa and lived a long time. But my brother later on, he went down there with my dad and things. So I'd never been down to Alberts. I've been south before, but I haven't been there. And most of the people had moved here. We don't really have a lot of direct relatives there. They were older, generations and things. So most of them either came here in Chicago, and of course we had those relatives here, and some in Southern Illinois. But one of the things when my grandfather came, he was the fact that we're here at Pullman was a little interesting. He got a job. He was what the term I forget, but they had engineers who could drive the trains around in the roundhouses when they bring them into repair and service.
Yeah.
But he could never get a job on engineer as an engineer. He shuttled the coach all around the roundhouse and everything, but they never would let him drive on a regular route, you know. But he would handle all those trains and everything. But they, you know, just so that shows how these things affected our families, you know, generations of things. It affected his income and other, you know, other things. So anyway, that was interesting. That's basically what I probably have to say that's pertaining to what we're speaking of today.